Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 626 based on novel. So let's start. Grand Empyrean Zhu Di's sudden appearance didn't surprise the Celestial Emperor. He was still confident as he stood on the head of the Celestial Ancestor and watched Zhu Di walk over. Zhu Di? You indeed came. The Celestial Emperor smiled. Grand Empyrean Zhu Di's expression was serious as he stared at the Celestial Emperor. His focus was on the Celestial Ancestor's head, and he revealed a complicated expression. The Celestial Ancestor's head. Back then, this old man followed the Celestial Ancestor, and now it has been countless years. Lian Daozhen, this old man has experienced several generations of Celestial Emperors, but you can be considered the most grandiose. Using the desire of the Imperial Teacher, you obtained the control of the Celestial Ancestor's head. If you had enough time to fully absorb the Celestial Ancestor's head into your body, then you would indeed be the #1 Grand Empyrean in my Celestial clan. But now you won't have the chance. Zhu Di's voice was ancient, and he stepped forward. With this step, the woman formed by the fusion of Grand Empyrean Gemini was suddenly covered in purple light as she also walked toward the Celestial Emperor. The three Grand Empyreans began a battle inside this forbidden palace. The Celestial Emperor was still confident when facing Gemini and Zhu Di. He raised his right hand and pressed down on the head below him. 8 Extreme Dao, Extreme Fire Dao. With this, the Celestial Emperor's body was covered in a golden light which then spread across the entire head. While the golden light dissipated the purple light in the sky, the head opened its mouth and released the Celestial Emperor's voice. 8. Extreme Dao. Extreme Fire Dao. Although these words were stuttered, they were complete. After the words came out, 9 strands of 10-foot thick green smoke appeared. They circled around the Celestial Emperor and the head 9 times before flying toward Zhu Di and Gemini. Thunderous rumbles echoed in the Forbidden Palace. Wang Lin, still hidden inside his body, clearly saw everything happening outside. Wang Lin didn't act recklessly due to this sudden change, he was still waiting. He didn't think everything was so simple. Zhu Di's appearance might cause some new changes. Before Wang Lin fully understood the situation, he would not come out. Thunderous rumbles echoed. Grand Empyrean Gemini's face was pale as purple light covered her body and she retreated a few steps. Zhu Di also retreated with a serious expression. What they had just faced was not the Celestial Emperor, but the Celestial Ancestor. An attack from the Celestial Ancestor had forced even their combined attack back. Zhu Di's eyes lit up and he said, "It is not the complete Celestial Ancestor's power, only about 10%. Popping sounds echoed inside his body and his old face rapidly changed. He turned from an old man into a middle-aged man. He looked very handsome and gave off the overbearing aura of an emperor. Zhu Di kept the appearance of an old man year-round, and only when his cultivation fully erupted would his appearance change like this. Speaking of which, this is the first time I've seen you like this, Zhu Di, but even so, you are not my match." The Celestial Emperor smiled and simply sat down on the Celestial Ancestor's head. Both his hands pressed down on the Celestial Ancestor's head. "With my blood, summon the ancestral spirit." The Celestial Emperor bit the tip of his tongue and spit out a mouthful of blood. The moment he spat out the blood, the Celestial Ancestor's head trembled and monstrous, golden light appeared. The golden light condensed into a huge, golden shadow. The shadow was wearing a royal robe, it was the Celestial Ancestor. The head was real and the body was an illusion. At this moment, his eyes shined and his right hand rose into the air. A huge, golden sword appeared and the Celestial Ancestor's shadow grabbed it. The Celestial Ancestor's sword. The moment the sword appeared, Wang Lin heard something calling him. Back then, with one sword, many foreign souls were slain. Only those qualified were sealed into continents. Now the two of you have offended the might of the Celestial Ancestor, do you still refuse to back down when facing this sword? The Celestial Emperor's voice echoed as he raised the golden sword and waved at Grand Empyrean Zhu Di and Gemini. The sword was silent, but the world changed colors, making it feel like the space here was about to be cut in half. Grand Empyrean Zhu Di's expression changed. His hands formed seals and a white sun appeared. The white sun hung in the sky with the purple sun. A white wolf rushed out from the white sun and let out a howl at the golden sword. At the same time, Grand Empyrean Gemini's hands formed seals and purple light covered the world. Purple bamboo appeared behind her and instantly turned into a purple bamboo forest. The bamboo all flew into the air and shot toward the golden sword. Dao Yi, Wu Feng, if the two of you don't act, when will you? Zhu Di roared as the white wolf rushed forward. A shocking change happened on the Celestial Emperor's left and right sides. The world on the left of the Celestial Emperor became still and nothing moved. Everything stopped and Grand Empyrean Dao Yi walked out. He raised his right hand and pointed at the Celestial Emperor. Everything looked calm, but this represented Dao Yi's Dao. His Dao was everything turned into one. With one finger, he released the peak of his power. 1. On the right side of the Celestial Emperor, the winds raged and clouds escaped. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the bald Grand Empyrean Wu Feng walked out. He didn't hesitate to throw a punch at the Celestial Emperor. Grand Empyrean Wu Feng was someone who had passed through the 16th palace in the Empyrean trial. He was someone who sought after martial arts and had completed his Dao through it. This punch contained the peak of his faith in his own strength. For Grand Empyreans attacked at once. Wang Lin clearly saw all of this from inside the right eye of the Celestial Ancestor. His mind trembled. He didn't expect such a thing to happen on this trip to the Imperial Palace. Even Dao Yi and Wu Feng had appeared. When the two of them appeared, Wang Lin understood that everything here was a chess game, and he was only a piece in the game. Even these Grand Empyreans were just pieces. This was a chess game with one side being the Celestial Emperor, but who was the other? The golden sword collided with Gemini, Dao Yi, Wu Feng, and Zhu Di. Thunderous rumbles echoed and Dao Yi was knocked back. Wu Feng retreated with a pale face as popping sounds echoed inside his body. Gemini and Zhu Di had higher cultivation levels than Dao Yi and Wu Feng, but even they were forced back by the golden sword. Although the four of them had retreated, the combined power of their attacks was not simple. Aside from that one person in the ancient clan, no one could resist the power of 4 Grand Empyreans at once. Not to mention, this was only an illusion that contained about 10% of the Celestial Ancestor's true power. The sword collapsed and turned into countless fragments that fell to the earth. At the same time, the Celestial Ancestor's shadow also disappeared, leaving only the real head. The Celestial Emperor's body trembled and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. He suddenly looked up and stared at Dao Yi and Wu Feng. Zhu Di looked at the Celestial Emperor and coldly said, "If this old man is not enough, then does the Celestial Emperor think adding Dao Yi and Wu Feng is enough?" The Celestial Emperor's expression was gloomy as slowly said, "What exactly do the four of you want me to do?" Grand Empyrean Gemini's goal was very clear. She stared at the Celestial Emperor and calmly said, "Release Wang Lin. Then I'll leave." Zhu Di looked at the Celestial Ancestor's head and slowly said, "This old man hopes the Celestial Emperor will reveal the skull that suppresses the 72 souls of the Celestial Clan. This skull is very important to the Celestial Clan, and it is not something the Celestial Emperor should have." My thoughts are the same as Zhu Di's. Celestial Emperor, keeping the balance of power we had between the 5 of us like before is very good, there is no need to change. Dao Yi's expression was gloomy. He looked at the Celestial Ancestor's head below the Celestial Emperor with dread. Wu Feng pondered a bit and said, "This is also what I want." The Celestial Emperor began to laugh. His laugh was extremely cold. He raised his hand, causing Dao Yi and Wu Feng's expressions to change. He pressed his hand against his chest and golden blood spewed out from his mouth. The Celestial Ancestor's eyes revealed monstrous, golden light and it opened its mouth to release even more golden light. Even its ears and nose emitted endless golden light. This golden light suddenly spread out, forming a golden wave. This caused Zhu Di and company's expressions to change, and they all retreated. As they retreated, the Celestial Emperor revealed a fierce expression. At this point, he would not easily retreat, he would rather erupt with the full power of the celestial ancestor's head so that others couldn't get close for a while. Then he would use this time to forcibly absorb the power of the celestial ancestor. Once he succeeded, he wouldn't have the slightest fear when facing 4 Grand Empireans. As the golden light shined, the celestial emperor pressed his hands on the head and absorbed. However, he could not absorb any of the golden light. It was as if there was a layer of seals around the head that prevented him from absorbing the head's power. This is the Dao Wang clan seal. That damn imperial teacher, when he made the celestial ancestor speak, he used his soul and left a trace of the Dao Wang clan seal in it. But this seal can't stop me. I'm the celestial emperor. Normally, I might not be able to release it, but with control of the celestial ancestor's head, I can. Even if I release the seal on the Dao Wang sect, it won't matter. The imperial teacher is dead and can't set off any waves. The celestial emperor's mind raced. The situation was urgent and he didn't have time to think too much. 1 Yi is 1 in Chinese. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the 4 Grand Empireans tried to break through the golden light. Time was of the essence, and the celestial emperor knew he hadn't given himself a lot of time. If he was unable to absorb the power of the celestial ancestor by force before the 4 Grand Empireans broke through the golden light, then everything he had done would be for nothing. He would never allow such a thing to happen. Now that he had reached the last step, he was about to succeed and was unwilling to fail now. Not even the imperial teacher could see through my plan. Zhu Di only came because he is near the ancestral city, but Dao Yi and Wu Feng came so fast. The celestial emperor clenched his teeth and pointed at the head with his right hand. The moment his finger touched the head, it collapsed into a mess of flesh and blood. With my flesh and blood as the descendant of the celestial ancestor, activate the law of the immortal astral to release the eternal seal on the Dao Wang clan. The celestial emperor roared and his remaining fingers collapsed. Not only his fingers, but even his palm collapsed as well. This collapse continued. By the time the celestial emperor finished speaking, half of his right arm had disappeared. Large amounts of golden blood spread out and formed a golden rune before him. This rune burned into dust before him. The moment the golden rune finished burning, the imperial teacher, who was possessing Wang Lin's body, trembled. The seal that had been suppressing his Dao Wang clan for countless generations disappeared. The moment the seal was released, excited tears flowed down from the imperial teacher's eyes. This was his life's pursuit. He had paid everything to release this seal so that his clan could escape from being trapped in this doomed fate from birth. The moment the seal was released, the power from the celestial emperor rushed in. It entered Wang Lin's body and easily erased the existence of the imperial teacher. This was the celestial emperor's last ace. He would not let the imperial teacher continue existing after the seal was released. The moment the seal was released was the moment the imperial teacher would die. When the imperial teacher was about to die, a memory that had been sealed for an unknown amount of time awakened. He faintly remembered that the Dao Wang clan, after years of inheritance, was almost extinct. He remembered that long after his birth, including him, there were only 3 people left. He didn't know who his parents were and no one had told him. He only knew that he was a member of the Dao Wang clan. Aside from him, he knew he had seen a woman and a baby girl. This mother and daughter were equivalent to his relatives. He remembered that woman was the previous generation's imperial teacher and that he was not the imperial teacher. The real imperial teacher was the baby girl. He didn't know who the father of the baby girl was, and she had disappeared soon after birth. He was taken by the woman and was passed down the spells of the imperial teacher. He slowly grew up and his memory was sealed. He still thought that he was the imperial teacher. He gradually grew up and the woman died. He then became an adult, and in his memory, there were many members of his clan sleeping. His mission was to release all the sleeping clan members from their fate. He still believed that there were many members of his clan left. But now that his memory had awakened, he remembered that aside from the missing baby girl, he was the only one left in his clan. No wonder the Celestial Emperor dared to release the seal. Because the Celestial Emperor knows that I am the only one left in the Dao Wang clan. As long as I die, even if the seal is released, It will be fine. So it turns out I'm not the Imperial teacher. So, am I a member of the Dao Wang clan? Am I? I should be. Now that the seal is released, the missing baby girl should be the real Imperial teacher. Where is she? Who is she? He had thought that he was the Imperial teacher the whole time and was willing to give up everything for his clan to scheme against the Celestial Emperor. Now that he had failed, his memory was unsealed and his thoughts slowly dissipated. Even when he died, he still didn't know who the real Imperial teacher was. But even at the moment of death, he didn't complain at all. He understood that perhaps this was his mission, to protect the real Imperial teacher and release the seal on his clan. From the moment he was born, this was his doomed mission. As this pitiful person died, the power of the Celestial Emperor swept through Wang Lin's body. After he determined that there weren't any soul fluctuations left, it swept through once more and then left. However, even the Celestial Emperor didn't notice the heaven-defying bead inside Wang Lin, or Wang Lin's soul inside the heaven-defying bead. After releasing the Dao Wang clan seal, the Celestial Emperor became excited. He still thought everything was under his control. His strong self-confidence was still there and he quickly began to absorb the power of the Celestial Ancestor's head. Strands of golden smoke came from the orifices of the Celestial Ancestor's head and entered the Celestial Emperor's body. This caused the Celestial Emperor's cultivation level to suddenly increase. Excitement filled the Celestial Emperor, but he didn't see that in the distance. When he released the seal on the Dao Wang clan, Empyrean Exalt Haizi's body trembled violently. Haizi's eyes were filled with confusion and struggle. A memory was awakening in her mind. When the seal on the Dao Wang clan disappeared, a source of power awakened inside her body. This power came from the Dao Wang clan. It belonged to the real Imperial teacher of the Celestial clan. Her eyes gradually revealed bright light and she subconsciously raised her hand. She pointed at the glowing Celestial Ancestor's head. Everything exists because it can be lost. This is death. All those that died due to the thoughts of the living form from nothing. This is Dao. The Dao Wang clan takes the thoughts of the living, takes the existence of the dead, takes pursuit of one's hope, and takes the power of the afterlife to create Joss flames. With this, we turn Dao into death to let those that exist continue to exist and let the dead return to nothing. Haizi muttered as she pointed at the head. All the golden light rapidly contracted back into the Celestial Ancestor's head. When the golden light dissipated, the Celestial Ancestor's head inside the golden light was revealed. The Celestial Ancestor's head below the Celestial Emperor lost all its golden light and slowly closed its eyes. It was filled with death aura once more and it lost its power to fly, so it fell to the earth. This interrupted the golden aura the Celestial Emperor had been absorbing, and now the aura's source was gone. The golden light scattered from the Celestial Emperor's body and went back into the Celestial Ancestor's head. This sudden change startled the Celestial Emperor. His eyes widened with disbelief and he suddenly looked up. He immediately saw Empyrean Exalt Haizi. This is impossible. The Imperial teacher is dead, completely dead. You are not of the Dao Wang clan. How can you have the power of the Imperial teacher? The Celestial Emperor almost went mad. He didn't dare believe what he was seeing. He didn't dare to believe and wasn't willing to believe. You are definitely not a member of the Dao Wang clan. Under the Celestial Ancestor's seal, the Dao Wang clan can't leave the palace, the ancestral city. You didn't die. Who are you? The Celestial Emperor's face was pale. He had thought that he knew everything and that no one knew his plans. He was filled with self-confidence. Everything had played out according to his plan. Only Dao Yi and Wu Feng's sudden appearances had caused some changes to his plan, but everything else had remained the same. But just as he was about to succeed in absorbing the power of the Celestial Ancestor's head so that he could become the second Celestial Ancestor, he found that everything was not what he had thought. He was actually inside someone else's scheme. I am the Imperial teacher. Empyrean Exalt Haizi had a complicated expression as she spoke. Her memories had awakened along with her mother's memories and the inheritance of all the previous generations of Imperial teachers. The person that died was the last member of my clan on the immortal astral continent beside me, Haizi sighed. What the hell is this? It's impossible. If you really are the Imperial teacher, how did you leave the ancestral city? Zhu Di, tell me. The Celestial Emperor took a deep breath. He was a Grand Empyrean, and although he was about to go crazy, he still calmed himself down by force. This plan was created by a genius of my clan. He didn't hesitate to do something that made it seem like he was splitting from the clan. He tried many methods until he successfully left this place and created the Great Soul Sect. Although he died, he perfected the plan and passed it down. He also found the key to this plan, this person called Wang Lin. A cultivator from a cave world. Only his body could be perfectly possessed by my clan member to allow this plan to be perfectly carried out. As for why I can leave the ancestral city, that's because my soul belongs to the Dao Wang clan, but my body belongs to the immortal astral continent, Izzy said softly. Zhu Di pondered a bit and then slowly said, Celestial Emperor, she is my daughter. The reason I've been able to live for so long with endless lifespan, and even became a Grand Empyrean, was due to the help of the Dao Wang clan. The Dao Wang clan had been preparing for this for a long time, until they divinated Wang Lin's appearance. Then they put the plan into motion. Zhu Di calmly looked at the Celestial Emperor, who was shocked by the truth. Wang Lin also heard this from inside the Celestial Ancestor's head. While everyone was paying attention to Zhu Di and Hai Zi, his soul came out of the heaven-defying beat to take control of his body. So this is the truth. His eyes shined brightly. Zhu Di looked at the Celestial Emperor and explained the origin of all of this. This plan was concocted by the genius of the Dao Wang clan, and it has been in motion for generations. He helped me become a Grand Empyrean as the condition for my help. When the previous Celestial Emperor died and before you took over the throne, the previous Imperial teacher found me. According to the plan, we got married and gave birth to a baby girl. This baby girl would have the body from the immortal astral continent but the soul of the Dao Wang clan. Originally, this couldn't happen under the Celestial Ancestor's seal as the power of the seal was too great. However, the Celestial Ancestor had been dead for many years at that point, and the seal was weakening. The genius of the Dao Wang clan came up with a plan, and in order to complete it, it required the entire Dao Wang clan to sacrifice their souls to fight against the power of the seal. Since then, the number of the Dao Wang clan members had been decreasing because of this. Until this generation, where only 2 remained. For countless years, the Dao Wang clan members that died used their unique methods to put their souls inside Hai Zi, which has protected her soul. The reason she can leave the ancestral city without dying is due to her body and also to the protection of the souls of all the Dao Wang clan members. The entire Dao Wang clan spent countless years completing this plan on Hai Zi's body, and she is the only one who can complete this plan. Zhu Di calmly looked at the Celestial Emperor as he explained the origin of all of this. Because she is your daughter, you were able to help her without reservation. You even became the godfather of the Dao Wang clan and obtained the Joss flames only the Celestial Ancestor was eligible for. The Dao Wang clan actually paid such a price to release the seal. The Celestial Emperor let out a sigh and revealed a complicated expression. Aside from Hai Zi, the last Dao Wang clan member was the Imperial teacher that just died. In fact, you didn't have to release the seal on the Dao Wang clan, but the ancestor of the Dao Wang clan had already divinated your actions. He knew of your desire for the Celestial Ancestor's inheritance and that when facing the pressure of the 4 Grand Empireans, you would not give up but choose to fight. The key to this plan was the Dao Wang clan sealing power in the Celestial Ancestor's head. A person who could be possessed would have to be absorbed into the Celestial Ancestor's head. Therefore, Wang Lin was very important. The Celestial Emperor silently pondered for a moment. He bitterly looked at Zhu Di and Hai Zi before speaking. Then if I didn't insist on releasing the seal but instead to return the Celestial Ancestor's head back, giving up on inheriting the Celestial Ancestor's cultivation, your plan would have been wasted. I won. The person who spoke was not Zhu Di, but Hai Zi. The current Hai Zi was completely different from before. She gave off a mysterious aura and calmly looked at the Celestial Emperor. If you had given up on inheriting the Celestial Ancestor's cultivation, then the ambush my Dao Wang clan had prepared would begin. All the spirit temples across the 72 continents obey my clan. All the spirit temples are prepared to awaken the spirit sealed in their continents. The cost of their awakening would shake the celestial ancestor's head, and at that time, only the celestial ancestor himself would be able to suppress it. You would have had to inherit the celestial ancestor's power, or the entire celestial clan would have gone into chaos. Once you tried to inherit the celestial ancestor's power, you would have had to release the seal on my clan. Hai Zi spoke softly. Like the green scorpion temple, the celestial emperor's pupils shrank. Hai Zi nodded. Dao Yi, Wu Feng, I assume you two knew about this. The celestial emperor's gaze moved to Dao Yi and Wu Feng. Dao Yi frowned and slowly said, Grand Empyrean Zhu Di came to me and told me about the Dao Wang clan's plan. But I didn't know anything about this Wang Lin. I only just found out that this Wang Lin was a key part of his plan. Wu Feng silently pondered for a moment and nodded. The celestial emperor immediately began to laugh, but his laughter was filled with extreme bitterness. He looked toward Grand Empyrean Gemini. What about you, Gemini? Did you know of this plan as well? Grand Empyrean Gemini's original body remained calm, as if she was not interested in any of this. She looked at the celestial emperor. I don't know and didn't want to know. I only came to take away Wang Lin. Whether it's you or Zhu Di, anyone who dares to stop me is my enemy. The celestial emperor's eyes lit up. Wang Lin. Wang Lin. Since the imperial teacher was able to successfully possess him, then he is dead. I presume you all observed him when he was in the cave world. The Dao Wang clan's ancestor only vaguely divinated a rough period of time where someone would come out of a cave world. He could not divinate who this person was or which cave world. We could only wait. Zhu Di shook his head. The genius of the Dao Wang clan created the Great Soul sect on the Heavenly Bull continent because it was divinated that Wang Lin would appear there. So the first step of the plan was to make contact with Wang Lin. The Celestial Emperor was very smart and immediately pointed out the key. The Celestial Emperor looked up, and his voice echoed like thunder. However, I wonder if the Great Soul sect's ancestor knew that this Wang Lin would die here at the Forbidden Palace as a price for releasing the Dao Wang clan's seal. Zhu Di, you used Wang Lin to lure Grand Empyrean Gemini here. Otherwise, with just the three of you, you wouldn't have had enough power to force me to try to absorb the Celestial Ancestor's power by force. You also used Ascendant Empyrean Ming Dao, Dao Fei, me, and the 72 sealed spirits. I don't believe you did all of this just for the Dao Wang clan, even if she is your daughter. And the two of you, Dao Yi and Wu Feng. For the two of you to come, Zhu Di must have promised you great benefits. You came for your own gains. The reason you are telling me the truth is to make me aware of the situation I'm in. You all must need something that requires my cooperation. Only Gemini didn't obtain anything and was used by Zhu Di and the Dao Wang clan. The Celestial Emperor still fought by using his words to try to obtain help from Gemini. Gemini silently pondered. How could she not see through it all after fusing? Celestial Emperor, we don't want to kill you. You just need to use your bloodline power to cut open the Celestial Ancestor's head. You will still be the Celestial Emperor, you will still be a Grand Empyrean. If you are unwilling, then don't blame us for killing you then drawing out your bloodline power to complete this step. Zhu Di said calmly without any killing intent, but his words were extremely cold. Gremini, the Celestial Ancestor's eyes used to be one entity. If you absorb it into your body, it will reverse the accident you had during your reincarnation and even increase your power. It will also allow you to separate and merge at any moment rather than burn your purple yang force to maintain this fused state. Wu Feng, this old man can confirm that the Celestial Ancestor's ears can hear the sound of Dao and track of the laws of the immortal astral continent. This old man promises to give them to you. Fuse them with your Dao and you can comprehend the peak of the martial Dao. Dao Yi, the Celestial Ancestor's skull was born from the void, and over the past countless years, the essence of his power has gathered here. This old man promises to give it to you. With it, your body and soul can become one. This old man wants the Celestial Ancestor's brain, it is of great use to me. As for the Celestial Ancestor's head, we all split it evenly. Zhu Di calmly looked at the Celestial Ancestor. So you knew about the ancestral curse the celestial ancestor left before death. The celestial ancestor's expression was gloomy. I had searched for many years and finally found a clue not long ago. Through it, I was able to determine that the legend was true. If the celestial ancestor was dead, then anyone who attempted to destroy his body would die. Unless it was a successor with the same bloodline. A successor can use their bloodline to bear the power of the curse so that the bloodline is cut off. Then there will no longer be any more celestial ancestor bloodline to be inherited, and only then can the curse be released. Celestial Emperor, now you have no choice but to bear the curse. You won't die, but the title of 8 Extreme will end with your generation. However, the celestial ancestor has been dead for countless years and his might still shrouds the celestial clan. It is time to change. If you are not willing, then you will without a doubt die. If not for the fact that I'm worried about the situation with the ancient clan changing after your death, this old man wouldn't waste so much time discussing this with you. Ju Di looked at the celestial emperor, and his voice was cold. Make your choice. The celestial emperor silently pondered. On the ground inside the dull right eye of the celestial ancestor's head, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he hid his aura. He had heard everything that had happened outside. This trip to the palace had been filled with twists and turns. Wang Lin had guessed some of it before, but not everything. The Great Soul Sect's esteemed Green Bull told me to return 300 years later to go to the top floor. The founder of the Great Soul Sect left something for me. The old ancestor of the Great Soul Sect, the genius of the Dao Wang clan. After using me to release the seal on the Dao Wang clan, what would he leave me? Wang Lin had a complicated expression. He appeared in the Heavenly Bull continent and founded the Great Soul Sect just to wait for me. Maybe I should be dead in his plan. But if he did divinate I would die in the palace, why leave me something in the pavilion, and why 300 years? You used me and schemed against me every step. You calculated my arrival, so I presume you calculated my personality as well. How could I let this matter go? Wang Lin silently pondered and sighed. There was a powerful shock from outside as the celestial ancestor's head flew into the sky. The celestial emperor seemed to have made a choice after pondering for a long time. His right hand reached toward the earth and he raised the celestial ancestor's head. This video will end here.